Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Lance Muser, and we are here today with a Starfield video. No, we are not reviewing the game. We did not get an early copy like many content creators did. We're doing a video. Well, we're just like you. We haven't played it yet. We've watched some stuff. Actually, with this, I typically don't always do this with games, but trying to avoid spoilers. And yeah, so this is like hey, we're taking in all the embargo lifted today. We're taking all the reviews in, looking at stuff, trying to avoid spoilers, and just kind of checking it out with you. There's a little summary of what we've kind of seen, what we think, and we kind of obviously want to hear what you guys think so far, whether you're playing it. Obviously, no spoilers in this video, no spoilers in the comments below, but let us know if you're playing it day one, early, wait until official release, what you're doing, what edition you got, all that good stuff. So what you're excited most about with the game. But of course, thank you all for all the support. We did record a video the other day looking at Diablo's GameSpot interview, the devs, but actually had some technical issues on that one. So yeah, not sure we're gonna post that one. But with that said, we said it in that video. Um, 282 subs. We just hit 250 not too long ago, so we really appreciate all the support. If you guys want, jump in our Discord. A lot of cool people in there, just chatting games, collecting, community, all that good stuff. You can find all our links here down in the description below on our link tree. Of course, here's our channel. Thank you so much for all the support. Find me on Twitter at LanceMuser, and let's jump right in. So we did kind of what we did with Diablo 4. Of course, Diablo 4 launched really well, and it's kind of been a bit interesting since then. But with Starfield so far, we're kind of seeing a general theme. I mean, it sounds like they got their review copies about 2 weeks early, from what it sounds like. So most reviews we've either watched or read, they say they're about 50 to 100 or so hours in, which is awesome. We all kind of expect Bethesda. It's a Bethesda game, right? So we kind of have an idea of what to expect, but we just haven't gotten a new IP from Bethesda. At least, we're used to Fallout, we're used to Skyrim and the alternating releases. So I said Skyrim, sorry, Elder Scrolls. But anyways, yeah, so new IP. What we've done here is read through mostly a 7 out of 10, a 10 out of 10, and a 5 out of 10. If we go take a look at OpenCritic currently today, I believe it was at like a high 80s. Yeah, high 88, 94% critics recommend. It's a mighty rating. So, yeah, overall, kind of seems like what we expected. I did dig down in here and find a 5 out of 10, which we'll talk about a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it seems like if you're into space games and you like Bethesda games, it seems like you're going to like this game. So as you play it, come back. We may have some more videos on Starfield. We're planning to play it, obviously. Actually bought another. We now have an Xbox One S and two Xbox Series X's in the house. So, and then of course we have the old Xbox One. We have older hardware, but yeah. So bought another Xbox just so we could more easily play without having to swap between consoles. I primarily play on a PS5, but the kiddos play on an Xbox. So, anyways, with that said, let's take a look at some other items here. So, real quick, we can talk about. Oh, look at that! I didn't copy my URL right. Well, I had the map of the release times, and actually, I feel like maybe I think I might have goofed up that URL earlier. Anyways, you guys probably know when the game's coming out. If you got early release, today's August 31st. It's probably coming out sometime this evening or tomorrow, September 1st. If you didn't, you're just going to play it on Game Pass. You're not going to upgrade anyway. You didn't reserve it or pre-order it, then it's September 6th, I believe, next Wednesday. So, yep, right here, September 6th. If you didn't get the Premium Edition or the Constellation Edition, I got info right in front of me right there. So, yeah, with that said, before we go into specifics, I took a look at IGN's review from Dan, I believe Dan Stapleton. Again, some of these reviews, like they start telling you about the first mission. And it's like, again, with a lot of games, I'm not really too concerned with spoilers for the most part. This game, I haven't really, I mean, I've been watching it, but not a lot and kind of haven't seen much spoiler wise. And as soon as they start telling me about the first mission, I'm like, man, we're almost there. I don't want to read this. But so Dan gave it a 7 out of 10. This is the kind of, I guess you could say, middle ground review I was trying to find. And the classics are here. I mean, you can see these bolded points here. But after about 70 hours, there are major quest lines I haven't even touched. I've heard that in multiple reviews. People are 50 to 100 hours in, and they haven't even um, like began some main quests. So the other thing, so that's kind of a theme that I've seen in these reviews, and we're not going to read through these word for word. I read a good portion of each of these. It's always the most interesting, after as you're reading through it, to jump down and read like the closing paragraph. So we can take a look at this if you want. So, um, there are definitely some common themes that I've seen amongst the reviews and the videos I've watched. For example, on this one, it's never a great sign when someone recommends a game on the grounds that it's good it gets good after more than a dozen hours, but that's very much the kind of game Starfield is, and I do recommend it. There are a lot of forces working against it, and the combination of disjointed space travel, non-existent maps, aggravating inventory management, and a slow rollout of essential abilities very nearly did it in. It was the joys piloting a custom spaceship into and out of all sorts of morally ambiguous situations in a rich sci-fi universe that eventually pulled it out of a nosedive. It's pretty harsh there. I'm glad that I powered through the early hours because its interstellar mystery story payoffs and once the ball got rolling, because its interstellar mystery story pays off, and once the ball got rolling, combat on foot and in space gradually became good enough that its momentum carried me into New Game Plus after I finished the main story after around 60 hours. That's crazy. It seems like people are putting on, obviously, it's different when you get I guess the review copy. You don't necessarily want to, but they might play through it a little bit quicker than they normally would. Like Skyrim and Fallout before it, there's still an immense amount of quality role-playing quests and interesting NPCs out there waiting to be stumbled across and the pool to seek out is strong. Sorry if I can read today. So I always remember specifically when I was playing Fallout, oh man, was it 3 or 4? Um, I remember stumbling upon the spaceship. I don't think I had seen it in anything. I remember stumbling across the ammunition in the spaceship for a particular blaster. And and then, reading about that in that area, that's the epitome of Bethesda games. You stumble upon something in the world that you hadn't seen, and maybe you hadn't seen it online at all, and you're like, wow, what is this? And you're just fully immersed in the world and the story around it, and very specifically like that thing that you found. That's a Bethesda game, right? So, I mean, Dan here is pretty fairly straight up, obviously a bit harsh on the barely pulling it out. I mean, a 7 out of 10, it's a 7 out of 10. Jumping back to the doc here. So we ran across kind of the themes we ran across as we worked through these few reviews. I did watch Paul Tassie's video. Shout out to him. No real spoilers in that. No spoilers, really. I mean, very vague, like beginning of the game stuff. I did watch Jason Plays. He's a big No Man's Sky um, content creator, and he really enjoyed it. Both of them really enjoyed it. I think Tassie gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Just knocking it for just very minimal bugs. The main quest line kind of lacking a little bit. Maybe not maybe lacking is a bit harsh, but the side quests are better, kind of thing. And that seems to be the theme across all the reviews that I've watched, or sorry, read and watched. The side quests, the characters, all that is very interesting. And while the main quest is good, the uh, in comparison to the side quests or the faction quests, it seems to be maybe lacking a little bit. The other thing here I've got posted in the doc, I found this very interesting, and this was in the 5 out of 10 review. The worst thing about exploring in Starfield is that once you land, you have to do it all on foot. Your ship can't fly within a planet's atmosphere. So instead of zooming around in the sky while looking for interesting spots below, you have to either hoof it or enter back into space before settling back down elsewhere on the planet. Both are annoyingly time consuming. So that's interesting, especially having played No Man's Sky. I mean, that's part of the fun in that game is you kind of just jump in your ship and kind of just cruise right above the planet and see if there's anything cool down there. If you're scoping out where to build a base, stuff like that. So that's interesting. I'm interested to see how that feels when you're playing the game that you can't just hop in your ship and kind of fly over the surface of the planet. The other thing, I believe, and we could jump to one of these other ones too. This is a 10 out of 10 from Destructoid. Um, let's see here. Let's see. Stephen Mills really enjoyed the game. There wasn't like crazy praises in here, but I believe he talks about how he's not like a big Bethesda game. He's never finished Elder Scrolls or Fallout, but he very much enjoyed uh, this game. So obviously 10 out of 10 he did. There's no doubt about the score there. But these ads too on these gaming websites, ads and videos, and there's just like so much going on. Um, anyways, it's an interesting ad. So, let's see. Let's jump down to the final little paragraph here on this one. So this was the top-notch review. 10 out of 10. Can't do much better than that. Unless you can go above 10, right? So, very long review as well. Let's see. Let's see. You don't want to read any spoilers. I'll be honest, even as I wrap this up, I still feel like I've forgotten to include some of the incredible features Starfield has to offer. I know I left out a lot of memorable moments I experienced throughout my play. Realistically, this review could be triple the length it already is, but I don't want that. I don't want to spoil anything. Starfield is a truly incredible experience that will be special for everyone. Explore the piece of the galaxy Bethesda has created how you want to and create your own stories. It's where Starfield really excels. I wasn't sure if it could be done, but Bethesda has managed to raise the bar for sandbox games even higher. In the end, Starfield is an epic sandbox open world RPG with a beautiful, immersive universe, a captivating story, and fun, compelling gameplay the whole way. I'm so happy to have experienced Starfield organically, and I really hope you get to as well. So, really enjoyed it. I think some of the same beats were in there, except he didn't really have like some of the theme that we've seen so far as the main quest storyline and stuff like that. Um, the interesting one, of course, from Paste Magazine is Garrett Martin. Now, I will say a 5 out of 10 is a pretty harsh rating. A 5 out of 10 is, I mean, it's weird because it's like 0 and 1 and 2, even 3. Those don't really exist. They do, but it's like, why even make the game at that point? But like a 5 out of 10 is like almost the equivalent of like a 1. And most of this review, and this is where I pulled the exploration, having to be on foot, and you can't just hover above the planet in your spaceship. But a lot of this centered around maybe just not being a big fan of Bethesda games, looking for something a bit different, being a new IP and stuff, at least kind of innovative and breaking the mold from what we've seen in Elder Scrolls and Fallout games before. Let's just kind of skim through here. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with the Bethesda format. I'm a fan of Skyrim and Fallout games the studio has made. Starfield's major failing is its writing. It lacks the memorable characters of Fallout 4, the compelling mysteries you discover on the edges of Skyrim's main quest, and the strong sense of place. So it seems like the writing and storytelling was the biggest issue in this review. Again, very valid points in this one. It just seems like they still enjoyed the game. And like I said, a 5 out of 10 is pretty low. Um, let's see here. Oh yeah, see, and this is just classic Bethesda stuff though. Oh, and there's so much random junk you can pick up. Almost as soon as the game starts up, you'll be rifling through drawers and cabinets and outer space offices, deciding whether you need to pocket these completely useless pins and folders. So, we're all used to that in Bethesda games. Not to say that it doesn't need to be tweaked or something, but let's see. The act of exploring is probably the best thing about Starfield. I believe this is the review that said the planets can get pretty barren. Like, as you aren't on like some of the big point of interest planets, they can get pretty not much fauna, not much you know, animals and planets or plants and stuff like that. So that's another thing I believe this review. So hopefully as we play, I mean, obviously people are very much enjoying the game and they don't seem to notice that or be affected by it. So hopefully as we all play, the game feels very full with different things on each planet. I know obviously the main points of interest in some of those shots we've seen in videos and stuff, they look breathtaking. Um, let's see, there is space combat, an actual separate space combat system aside from just your character's combat. There is no VATS, I believe. I've seen where they've said there's no VATS, like in the Fallout games. Let's see here. You can build like an outpost kind of thing in the game, I believe, as well. Um, ships can be customized. Let's see. The other thing, all of them seem to be saying the same thing. We've come to expect from Bethesda games, uh, bugs and technical issues, but apparently nobody is so far is experiencing that many substantial ones or really minor ones to that uh, aspect. So this one, like many, I was able to overlook all those issues in Fallout 3, Skyrim, and Fallout because the quality of the writing and the world building. Those games had characters I cared about in compelling situations that I wanted to resolve. Starfield doesn't have that. Starfield is thematically so similar to Mass Effect and yet so inferior to it that I just want to play those games again. I mean, just straight up. Its approach to exploration is so similar to No Man's Sky and so inferior to it that it made me want to go back to 2016 and play the original version of that painfully underrated game once more. I assume he's obviously talking about No Man's Sky there, which is doing great right now. I just released an update. We're playing it too, by the way, got the space itch. And in almost every other way, it feels like Fallout 4 and Skyrim. You guessed it, inferior to them. Playing Starfield makes me want to play games that explore space and games that were made by Bethesda, but it doesn't make me want to play Starfield. It tries to give us the universe, but it's so weighed down by its own ambitions and a fundamental lack of inspiration it can't even get into orbit. So, I mean, straight up, it's trying too hard to be what it's trying to be, is what this reviewer is saying. So, I don't know. This is the lowest score I saw. I think I saw I don't, actually, maybe I don't know that I saw any sixes out there. Obviously, some sevens, eights, nines, and tens. There's some 4.5 out of fives. I actually at one point thought it was a 4.5 out of 10, but it wasn't. So yeah, I mean overall, it seems like people are loving the game. So we'll have to see. Obviously, that individual didn't 5 out of 10, but maybe still playing it, giving it a chance. The other thing that I think I heard Paul Tassi say was you kind of have to, one of these reviewers just said it too, and it's not something you always want to hear, but you have to, he said you have to play the game more to have those experiences that make the game memorable. So, take that for whatever however you want to take it as far as how much time or how long you want to play a game or feel you need to play a game to think it's top tier. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it, guys. Just kind of wanted to go over it. We're looking forward to playing it. We'll either be playing it tonight or we maybe wait until next Wednesday. Not 100% yet. But yeah, let us know what you think in the comments below if you're planning to play it as you play it, or if you've already played it, what you think. And again, we appreciate all the support on the channel, and it means a lot to us. Obviously, we see you guys subscribing, and if you want, jump in our Discord. We always mention it, but man, it's full of a lot of cool people, and we're just chatting about all this kind of stuff. So yeah, again, thanks so much for all the support. We appreciate it, and until next time, take care.